Hey guys, so I wanted to do one more of these just because people have asked for it, specifically on healers. I wanted to see, again, the idea of this video is to see if there's any different in the talents that people pick in high ranks versus low ranks, specifically for healers. I'm going to be taking the top 5 popular healers and just taking a glance at it. And the reason I did this originally because of cleanse. I realized that in the highest ranks, cleanse's win rate would equal or be about the win rate of other talents, and in low ranks, cleanse would usually be lower win rate than other talents in those tiers. And I found that specifically when looking at Rhaegar and Masters, but because I'm going to be sorting by Masters and Diamond, the cleanse win rate might drop just a little bit. But that might give you guys an idea. If you don't use cleanse, it's just a dead talent. So every talent you take should be trying to get you further and further towards winning. And if you're taking a lot of talents that you're not using because it's just extra buttons, it's too overwhelming to press, especially when you're learning these heroes or you're learning the game. A lot of low-ranked players are relearning heroes or relearning the game. And so limiting the amount of things you have to press would certainly help out in your win rate. So the goal here is to, 1, just for the fun of it, see if there's any major differences in talents on specific heroes, and 2, to see if there maybe should be a difference, that there might be talents that are easier with a higher win rate that I would like to see more popular in low ranks and not have people rage about it. Because when I asked a friend, I said, well, why do people not take cleanse in your rank? Why do people still take cleanse in your rank? And he says, well, people take cleanse because if not, they're called an idiot for not taking cleanse. And it's like, well, I kind of want to change that image a little bit. It's like, you should be taking what you're comfortable using, and you shouldn't have people trash you just because you didn't take the thing that the pros took. Because also people are worse at following up CC anyways. So I find myself in low ranks when I'm playing Rhaegar, I don't even like taking cleanse a lot of the time because I'll cleanse someone and the person I cleanse still stands there because he's not used to people landing cleanse at the right time, using cleanse at the right time. So he'll stand there and die anyways. Or I'll cleanse someone and I won't have cleanse and people won't be able to follow up that CC fast enough because they're in low ranks. They're not used to following up CC. So cleanse is just less valuable in low ranks too. But with that being said, let's get to it. I'm going to be going down and pulling up the healers. And let me move these over a little bit. Starting off with Rhaegar. Let's see what Rhaegar takes in the highest ranks. So 60% popularity in W build. Stormcaller is taken 52% of the time, where Healing Totem is taken 40% of the time. Now, there is a key difference between these. A lot of people say Healing Totem and Stormcaller do the same thing in different ways. Stormcaller gives you mana back so that you can get more heals off over the course of a fight, where Healing Totem drops down and it gives you more healing so you can use less mana. But in reality, in high ranks, Healing Totem is worth a lot more than that. And I'll tell you why. Because a lot of fights in high ranks are determined in about 3 to 10 seconds. A lot of the damage happens in 3 to 10 seconds. A lot of the CC, everything happens within about 3 to 10 seconds. So you need to make the most impact in 3 to 10 seconds. You'll have the amount of mana needed to heal your team for 3 to 10 seconds. Where Stormcaller starts gaining value is when the fights start going a lot longer. Where Healing Totem gains value is when the fights are very short. So the higher rank you are, I would imagine that Healing Totem has a higher win rate because it's more valuable. But Stormcaller is just likely going to have a higher win rate just because you get to take all the talents at the same button. You know what I mean? It's easy. This is where I was kind of talking about how Cleanse has a significantly higher pick rate, but Blood and Thunder has a higher win rate by a lot. Now, if I sort by just Masters, that's where you're going to start seeing things even out. Like Healing Totem's being picked more often, and Cleanse has a much higher win rate. But we don't really have that many people to just pick Masters and sort by. So even the Diamond players are having that same Cleanse problem where Cleanse's win rate might be a little bit lower, but I mean, a 63% win rate is still good. It's just competing with these other two. And remember that competing with Grounding Totem is probably only picked in the situation where it's the best. So this win rate's probably also inflated. This win rate's probably inflated because I picked Blood and Thunder in the solo lane, and I mean, I've played 200 games in the solo lane in the last 2 weeks, so that's on me. No, I'm just kidding. What I'm saying is it might be picked in a situation where you're significantly ahead, because you're running a team comp that might run like double healer or something. Anyways, so in high ranks, Electric Charge, Stormcaller into Cleanse. Bloodlust is very popular right now, so a very high popularity, 72% win rate, or sorry, 72% popularity. Earthshield, 63% is what's being picked, which means that Earthshield is picked even when W build isn't being used. Tidal Waves has a pretty good 27% though, and it's got a significant win rate. So I'll talk about that a little bit when we get further on, and then Rising Storm is the highest popularity with Earth Grasp going second. I don't really like taking Earth Grasp without taking Colossal Totem, so there's 10% of people that are taking it without Colossal Totem, and so that's where it kind of bothers me a little bit, because like having the longer range and radius allows you to like root an entire team while staying safe. But it's also a talent that kind of requires, again, some follow-up. That's a setup for your team. Then your team needs some follow-up. And then Hunger of the Wolf is high win rate, but I really don't like this talent at all because you shouldn't be diving into the enemy team that late. So most likely it's picked only when your team's already dominating, or again, I've recommended this talent in the solo lane a couple times just because you can bully a lot of solo laners when you have a 3-second cooldown that you get to have a 10% differential in health. You know what I mean? And then at the level 20, Gladiator's Warshout is a huge popularity. And then we have Storm Shield at 20% and Rewind only at 4.5% of games. Let's see in low ranks. So before I go to low ranks, the longer a team fight goes on, the standard meta build for Rhaegar, which uses Healing Totem and uses Earth Shield, gets weaker. That's where Tidal Waves and Stormcaller get stronger, because the longer a team fight goes on, you want that sustained healing. But if fights are playing out like they played out in the competitive scene, everything's determined in 3 to 10 seconds. So if it's determined in 3 to 10 seconds, you want to have the biggest shield and the biggest amount of healing in those 10 seconds as possible. After that, everything else is irrelevant. But if the fights are going long, which is kind of how they've been playing out lately, because people don't follow up CC as often, people don't call out their CC as well. If that's how the fights are going, then I do think Tidal Waves and Stormcaller are just a little bit better. Anyways, let's go down to low ranks. In low ranks, Electric Charge still the most popular. Stormcaller and Healing Totem are still tied, and in this case, Healing Totem actually it just beats Stormcaller, which surprises me, honestly. One more button to press, and somehow it's a little bit better. Maybe it's because people are less likely to kill the Healing Totem. I don't know. That's interesting to me. Cleanse, still picked over everything else, but has a lower win rate. These are the talents that I would say, like, maybe look into like something like Grounded Totem, right? Because if you're going to pick Cleanse and not use it, it's going to have a lower win rate. But it does surprise me that Blood and Thunder is about as low of a win rate, too. I think it's because people use this too late in the game. Blood and Thunder is really powerful early game when people don't have a lot of burst damage. But when people start getting all of their damage talents at like level 16, if you jump in, you just die. And I see that happen a lot with Rhaegars I coach. They just jump in and die. Bloodlust, higher popularity. Pretty straightforward. Earth Shield, higher popularity. That one still surprises me, especially in low ranks. I think Tidal Wave is great in low ranks because fights are not determined quickly. So adding extra temporary health isn't going to be as worth it as getting more heals off over the course of a fight. And then we've got level 16, a Rising Storm. It has a pretty good win rate and popularity. Earth Grasp, really low win rate. And again, comes down to people are bad at following up CC in low ranks. So if you drop down an Earth Grasp totem, slows everyone by 90%, but your team doesn't follow up at all, which is why W build is just really good in low ranks. It's just better anyways. And then upgrading the War Shout. Interestingly enough, Rewind is taken more in low ranks than it is in high ranks, despite that being way more buttons to press. And then Storm Shield is picked more in low ranks and high ranks, which I think is perfectly fine. That's Rhaegar for you. Let's take a peek at the next healer. Let's go to Lili and see how Lili's builds differ in low and high ranks. So what I would imagine is that W builds more popular in high ranks, where Q builds more popular in low ranks. Q build is actually pretty popular in high ranks. I still think, and this is what's crazy. The good stuff. This talent's actually really powerful. So there's two talents that are very, very powerful on Lily, which is free drinks and the good stuff. And when they combo together, it's actually a really, really high win rate combo. I used this for one whole season. It was, I think it was the season before I initially went to GM. I was just having fun, and I was playing Lily, and I ended up having like an 85% win rate with Lily, just going this talent. Every game, people would be like, "Why didn't you go cleanse? You should be cleansing me." And it's like, but I was healing a lot, and I was out healing so much stuff. So it just didn't matter. Like, they would CC someone, and I would just out heal them while they got CC'd. Is that the build you should go? I don't know, but if it has this win rate in Masters, I would love to see that in low ranks. We'll see, though. Surging Wind gives you some spell power. I just think this is a good talent, and it lowers the cooldown of your blind, so you can blind more often and get better heals. It's just a good talent. Jugs is taken at an incredible rate. Cleanse is taken a little under the good stuff. But yeah, Jugs is taken at an incredible rate. And then we have level 13, a tie for both Hindering and Mass Vortex. The amount of targets you hit with your blind, as additional, you do more damage with... it deals 75% more damage if it hits all three heroes. And then Blinding Wind slows enemies. I think the slow is really good. Because it allows you just a little bit more follow-up for your team, allows you a little bit more peel for your team. 2 for 1 is not the most popular talent in Masters. Interesting. I think 2 for 1's really good, especially if you combo it with free drinks, because then you have a higher chance of hitting someone below 50% to lower the cooldown and to get your mana back. So I think 2 for 1's really good. Pick Me Up. If the hero's below 50%, you're still going to get more value out of 2 for 1 than you will with Pick Me Up. So it's really weird. And if you're... It's better to try to keep everyone topped off. And with 2 for 1, you can heal someone that's below 50% and top off another person at the same time. So I agree with the win percentage being lower on that one. Blessing of Yulon. High win rate. It's good for like the full W build, but that's generally picked as a major counter pick. And then finally, we have Upgrading Jugs with the highest popularity and the second highest win rate. Let's take a peek at lower ranks. In lower ranks, what we have is Q build, almost the same exact spread for Q and W build. Then we have Surging Winds, the same spread for lower ranks. The good stuff is being played about 10% more. And Let's Go is being played about 10% less than in higher ranks. Jugs is being played about 3% higher in low ranks. Then Hindering and Mass Vortex are also almost tied, and they are tied in win rate, so very similar to high ranks. 2 for 1, once again, 2 for 1, less popular but higher win rate than Pick Me Up. Still really surprising to me. And is it because it has a downside? It increases the cooldown by 1, but because you're healing 2 people, that cooldown is going to be negated most of the time. But that might be the reason why. And then Jugs upgrade is also still the most popular at this tier. Mistweaver's a little bit more popular than at this tier than it was at previous tiers. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, rather similar builds, honestly. Let's take a peek at Anduin. I already know this one's going to be about the same. High ranks likes to go the auto attack build. I don't recommend this build. I say that, but I have to explain it, and I'm not going to take the time to explain it right now. The build I recommend is the lowest win rate build, but the reasoning for it is because most people are playing it wrong. They're watching some people play, and they're copying that playstyle, despite that if you change your build, you need to change your playstyle. But I'm not going to get into it. Highest popularity, bold strategy at this tier. And then we have Inner Fire, with a close second of being Moral Compass. Moral Compass wins in the win rate department by just a little bit. Level 7, we have the highest popularity being Blessed Recovery, with the highest win rate being Binding Heal. This talent shouldn't have a high win rate, because you shouldn't be taking that much damage on Anduin. But if you're taking bold strategy, you have to attack a lot. And in order to attack a lot, you must be in a position to get attacked. Hence why this ends up being the highest win rate. Level 10. Light Bomb has the highest popularity and only slightly below in win rate. Level 13, Speed of the Pious has the highest popularity. Push Forward could simply just be that not a lot of people are playing it. And then we have Inner Focus with the highest popularity and the highest win rate. Lightwell coming close with win rate. I'm not a big fan of Lightwell because teamfights generally move around a lot, but as far as actual healing output, it is the highest. Then level 20, we have Varian's Legacy with the highest. Oh yeah, people go Varian's Legacy because they're going bold strategy. Varian's Legacy is the highest win rate and popularity. Now in low ranks, I'd imagine it's about the same. People in low ranks really like auto attack builds when they're given the choice. Bold strategy still topping the popularity. Inner Fire is now significantly higher than Moral Compass. Then we have Blessed Recovery. We have Holy Word Salvation. We have Speed of the Pious, probably because none of these really sound like auto attack talents. And then we have Inner Focus, and it goes into Varian's Legacy again, with a tie for Desperate Prayer. The thing about this is, if you're going to go auto attack build in low ranks, like, go light. You can't really go Light Bomb because you need to be auto attacking, which means you don't want to take the time to stop. I guess Salvation's fine. The problem is with Anduin. Anduin right now has the lowest win rate of all healers, and in almost every rank. So when everyone tells me that they go this build because it's the highest win rate build, if you're going the highest win rate build on a hero that has the lowest win rate, you might want to be like thinking twice, because even in his highest win rate build, he's still lower win rate than some of the lower win rate builds on other heroes. And it's just like, you hit a point where you go, okay, well, maybe it's my playstyle, but a lot of people don't think about that. Either way, my tips for if you're playing Anduin in low ranks, honestly, I wouldn't play him too much in lower ranks. Your team's just going to die again after you use your pull. He doesn't have any wave clear, and his auto attack build doesn't do as much damage as other healers' auto attack builds do. So I just don't think it's really worth it. And his healing numbers are going to be lower. Like, you could go Stukov with Spine Launcher, out heal and out damage Anduin, and the only thing that you're missing out on is a cleanse, and the cleanses aren't going to be that useful in low ranks. Okay, on to, we did Lily, we did Anduin, Brightwing. And how many healers have we done so far? We did Rhaegar, that's 1, 2, 3, Brightwing will be 4, and then Lucio will be 5. Brightwing, let's check out high rank. In high rank, we have the trait build, which is the highest popularity. Then we also, pretty even on the level 4 talents. Level 7, Peekaboo, so once again, the trait build. Then we have Blink Heal with an overwhelming 75%. Rather even on level 13 with Safety Dust just being a little bit higher. It actually synergizes really well with your teleport build as well as Blink Heal. Then at level 16 we have Critterize at the highest popularity, followed up by Invisible Friends. Nothing too crazy. It's Z build combined with a couple talents to lock down enemies. Let's go down to Silver and Bronze. Z-Build is still the most popular, where Dreamshot has actually reduced a lot in popularity, and that popularity spread between Anomaly and Magic Spit. I think that's fine in low ranks. Landing your Q is rather difficult, and in low ranks, if you're not landing it a lot, you might as well not even take that talent. W build is point and click. So if it's working, if you're getting value out of the talents, you're going to more likely get value out of this than out of something that's a skill shot in low ranks. Then Blink Heal, it's almost the same exact spread. Safety Dust, almost the same exact spread. And then at this level, Critterize bumps up just a teeny bit, but that's about the same as where it was. And Invisible Friends is about the same as where it was. Speedy Dragon has a higher win rate. Decent popularity, and Fate Protector has a pretty good popularity at this tier as well. I would say if you're going to play in low ranks, I mean, I think Bribe is going to be really good in low ranks. Sure, you lose out on Hypershift, but it's not that big of a loss to be able to cover camp clear that your team's likely going to miss. That's the only difference I'd probably change in low ranks. I'm not going to tell you guys to try to land a bunch of Qs if you're just learning the hero or just picking up the hero. But I do think that Pixie Charm could be pretty valuable for you. Otherwise, feel free to go Hypershift, go into the same build, and just go essentially W talents. So try that out. Hopefully that works out. And then finally, the last healer we're going to be looking at is Lucio. In high ranks, we see Party Mix drops a little bit, and we see Accelerando, we haven't seen the low ranks yet, but Accelerando's at 30%, Party Mix is at almost 60%. Subwoofer is at 55%. Then we have Reverse Amp at 83%. We have Sound Barrier at almost, I mean, this is one of the highest spreads we've seen so far, 96%. Almost 100% of the games played are with Sound Barrier. Level 13, we see mostly with All Together and a few with Slip. Then level 16, we see Rejuve, and that's at 60% with Up the Frequency. I think this talent's a little underrated. I think this talent's great, don't get me wrong. His power spikes at 16 are just generally good. And then finally, at level 20, we have House Party with the highest popularity and highest win rate. In low rank, we see a huge jump in Party Mix, and Accelerando almost disappears, going almost below 10%. I mean, 13%, but you get the point. Subwoofer's around the same spread as it was. Reverse Amp is actually a little lower, with people in low ranks taking Boombox a little bit more. Sound Barrier, a very similar spread. Altogether, very similar spread. And Rejuve is a much higher popularity and a lower win rate. So why this is probably a lower win rate is in low ranks, like I said, fights generally last a long period of time, where in high ranks, fights are normally determined by the first 3 to 10 seconds. So if a fight is determined in the first 3 to 10 seconds, having more healing in that amount of time is going to lead to more wins. But if the fights are going to be spread out for a long period of time, Up the Frequency actually is a really high uptime in healing and ends up being a higher amount of healing over the course of a minute than Rejuve. And in that case, Up the Frequency would actually be better in low ranks for the most part. And then finally, we have House Party that's, again, highest popularity, highest win rate. So the only thing that I would change that low rank players are doing right now is Up the Frequency. I would probably be picking that talent more often. And that, guys, is the healers for high ranks versus low ranks in talents. Overall, pretty similar. I think a lot of low rank players do still learn from high rank players. The builds are not that different. They're still rather close. I do also want to mention there's a little bit of a selection bias of the people that upload to Hotslogs, because the people that upload to Hotslogs are more likely to be looking at popular builds, which kind of creates a self-fulfilling prophecy where they're going to show more builds they see, where all the people that don't play with those builds are likely going to be doing something different. And they won't be uploading them, so we won't see those differences. Where we see the differences are likely from people who upload who played with someone who doesn't upload. So the more people that we have upload, the more of a wide range of games we will see, and wide range of builds, so we get to see more win rates. So the more that you upload your games, the better builds we can see. So make sure to head over to Hotslogs and go and upload. Thank you guys so much for watching, and feel free to check out my other videos.